The Third Watch News Update is a part of the Amateur Radio Network. You're listening to the Third Watch News Update for March 12, 2017. Vice President Mike Pence was just speaking in Kentucky and in a really, really fantastic speech, and was thanking all of the dignitaries that work alongside with the Trump administration to help him bring America back to order and getting our economy back together. And he even gave a shout out to Senator Mitch McConnell for being a great friend to America and to President Trump and the administration. In fact, I found some family photos of Mitch McConnell's long line of family that has been working in D.C. to bring justice and jobs and economy to America. And we don't know what else to say, but thank you. Thank you, Mitch McConnell, for your service to our country. Truthfully, I would say that, when people work both sides of the aisles, all you can do is look at Mitch McConnell. He works both people. It's amazing. It's like either one side or the other. I don't know, representative, Democrat. Today we're a Democrat. Tomorrow we'll be a Republican. And we like to say this is not a Republican-Democrat thing, but the truth is, it is. That's how they play it, so. But as for Vice President Mike Pence, excellent speech, really put it right to the point. And, no indirectness, none of that. We just want to get right to the point. But, of course, once you get past the order of the business of the day, it's always really nice to see that our legislators and those people are actively working for the people. Yeah, the causes for the people, yeah. It's ironic, but, I watch this news on a regular basis, as you know. I post news pretty regularly, updates and things like that. And what I find is we're not out to make everybody happy. Number one, we can't. It's impossible. That's not our responsibility. But, when it doesn't take somebody with a law degree or a law enforcement background to see the writings on the wall. In this article, actually, former Secret Service Dan Bongino had put alert for everybody out there. If you hadn't seen it, I'm going to post. I'll post an image here shortly. But I just want to lay out and let the tape roll here. It doesn't take someone with a law degree to see the writings on the wall, and it's amazing. It's like we don't overlook the obvious. I've heard people say, well, "You're going down that conspiracy road." You know what? Then you need to go do your homework on Operation something, because that language is used very well. It was actually written by people that were communists. That language, conspiracy theory, has been defined by communists. So if you are one of those people that repeats this same old rhetoric about conspiracies, and you look at some of the information, I see a lot of the sellouts, okay? They're pretty obvious. They kind of stick out like a sore thumb. They don't know if they work the left side of the aisle, right side of the aisle. Truthfully, the truth doesn't hurt us. You know what hurts us is that when the truth gets ignored. Okay, that's the kind of stuff. And then they call it conspiracy. Okay, now don't get me wrong. There's some people, they may go unhinged. Okay, but looking at this article, and I will post these articles below, you don't have somebody at the level at the Secret Service, former Secret Services, telling the public to get this information out. And if you have served in uniform, which some of us did, I did, I was a reservist, but you don't have to be a law enforcement or have a degree to know the writings on the wall. When you see certain things going on, it's just a matter of who's going to act on it and who's not. And having seen the video where former attorney Loretta Lynch was saying that, she inserted, the founding fathers, that sometimes there has to be blood in the streets. I have to tell you, those words would get any average person in trouble. So, should you be shocked? Should you be stunned at what's going on here? Incredible. I hope that some of us know that's usually a message That doesn't have to be a direct message, but that's called indirect, and they call it passive. See, they're obviously hinting on to something. Usually this passive aggressive stuff that goes on, they're not directly calling it for what it is. It's obvious that there's political enemies, and it's a blood sport. But I mean, you can't get any more bloody in a blood sport than those words by former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. You can't get any more descriptive. And the idea of inserting the Founding Fathers. I don't think the Founding Fathers would have took too kindly for a woman to be sitting there. Because I'm a woman, I can say it like this. And there's women that they are causing a fight. They're there to cause problems. That's what they're there to do. Get over it. Some people need to get real. I mean, I'm a woman. I can tell you there are women up there in the halls of justice, so the halls of injustice like her, that shouldn't be doing what she's doing. And anyone else. And I can say this. You don't need a law degree, and you don't need to be in a position of law enforcement to see the writings on the wall. In fact, my grandfather was the attorney for the Pittsburgh Police, and if any one of us ever did something like, you know how many people would be investigated? In a heartbeat. Stunning. A woman in a position of authority like that says that kind of stuff, that's asking for problems. And you know what? You're responsible for what you say and what comes out of your mouth. That's the truth of it. Anyone that says anything like that or ever murmurs a word like that, they'd be in jail so quick. Words alone have hold very big meaning, especially coming from somebody like that who's been in the position of authority. That should be your example. And if anybody wants to look at the examples, there you go. Those are some of the examples. And you wonder why that there are kids that would be recruited on the streets? These kids need a job. They need a real job. They don't need to be recruited off the street to do your dirty work, you scumbags. That's what they're really doing. These kids need real jobs. They need to go to school. These kids don't need to be recruited in their colleges and at their dormitories. These kids need to focus on other things. These kids actually might have a future. They might actually have a chance. They might actually have an opportunity. Instead, you have these idiots. They're recruiting kids as little as God knows how little they recruit them. You got to listen to my previous post. The problem is you don't need a law enforcement degree or a PhD to see the writings on the wall. It's outrageous that people would say that, and they should be held accountable.